So we use the comparatives and the superlatives to compare. Yes, what? Anything, people, things, animals, whatever. But we use them to compare two things or more. When do we use the comparatives? We use the comparatives to compare two people, sorry, or things, or animals, or whatever, okay? But we compare two things. Look at this example. My hair is longer than Angela's. Longer is a comparative, okay? Longer is a comparative in this sentence because it's the word that we are using to compare my hair with Angela's hair, okay? Look at the picture. This is me, and this is Angela, okay? My hair is longer. My hair is longer than Angela. Angela has a short hair, yes? Well, that's when we use the comparatives. And the superlatives. We use the superlatives to compare, listen, one person or one thing or one animal or one whatever to others in a group. For example, I can say, she is the smartest girl in the classroom. Yes, the classroom is the group. Yes, and I'm comparing one person, she, okay, a girl, with the rest of the students in the classroom. She is the smartest girl in the classroom. Yes, I'm comparing this girl with the other girls in the classroom. And we have an example here. Angela has the shortest hair in the class. Shortest is the superlative, yes? Yeah, we're using this word to compare the hair of Angela with the hair of the other girls in the classroom, yes? In this case, I'm not comparing two girls, I'm comparing three. Look at the picture. In the comparatives, I compare two people or two things. In the superlatives, I compare one person with other people in a group. Like in here, we have three girls. We are comparing Angela with the other girls. They are three. I'm comparing three, right? Okay. Now, we are going to see how to form the comparatives and the superlatives. I know that you see a lot of information, but believe me, it's very simple to understand, okay? Just pay attention. Let's talk about the short adjectives first, because we have short adjectives, long adjectives, and irregular adjectives. Let's see how we can form the comparatives and the superlatives with these words. Tall, big, large. Large is like very big. Happy, popular, interesting, good, and bad, okay? What happens with the short adjectives? The only thing we have to do, guys, is add ER, okay? We have to add ER to the word. When there is a long word like popular, interesting, we have to use another form, not the ER. When? Okay, let me explain you. When the words are short, like tall, big, large, happy, as you can see, these words have one syllable and happy has two, happy, okay? We are going to add ER at the end of the word. Tall, taller, big, bigger. In the word big, guys, we have to double the letter G, okay? We double the letter G and add ER. Large, larger. Happy, happier, okay? In the word happy, we changed the letter Y to I and added ER, okay? So we will say taller than, bigger than, larger than, happier than. For example, I am taller than my sister. The elephant is bigger than the mouse. What else? My car is larger than yours. I am happier than my, I don't know, I'm happier than Diana. Let's say a name. Okay? So that's how we use the comparatives. We have to write the word with ER if we are using short adjectives and add than, taller than, bigger than, etc. And then the superlatives. We have to do exactly the same thing, except for one thing. We have to, instead of ER, we have to add EST. The tallest, the biggest, the largest, the happiest. I am the tallest person in my classroom. The elephant is the biggest animal at the zoo. Yes, so I'm comparing one elephant or the elephant to the other animals at the zoo, okay? I'm comparing one thing with one group of animals, one animal with one group of animals. And then the largest. This is the largest house in the town. She is the happiest person in the world, okay? So we are comparing now not two things, but one thing with other group of things, yes, in the superlatives. And we don't have to add than. Than is only for the comparatives, yes? And then what happens with the long adjectives? Popular, interesting. We have two examples. Popular, the comparative is more popular than, and interesting, more interesting than. When we have a long adjective, guys, we have to add the word more before the adjective. More popular, more interesting, more intelligent, okay? Popular. Popular has 3 syllables, so we have to write more. Interesting. It has 3 syllables, so we have to add more before it, yes? And we add than. Than is always written in the comparative forms. Now, the superlatives. Instead of adding EST at the end of the word, we have to write must before the word. The most popular, the most interesting, okay? We don't have to add any group of letters at the end of the word because the word is long. So we are going to write another word, but before that adjective. And don't forget, in the superlatives, we always write the, okay, before the adjective. Now, what happens with the irregular adjectives? We have good and bad. We don't say gooder or badder. They don't exist, okay? That's not a way to make it a comparative. What do we have to do? We have to memorize how to say them in the comparative and superlative form. Would, the comparative is better, better than. I'm better than my sister. Okay, let's say like that. And the superlatives, the best. I am the best student in my class. Okay, let's say that. And then bad. Bad is, the comparative of bad is worse, worse than. And then the superlative is the worst, okay? I got the worst score in my class, for example, okay? Remember, if the words are short adjectives, we add ER to make them comparative and EST to make them superlatives, okay? And that. If the words are long, we add more or the most. And if they are irregular verbs like good and bad, we have to memorize this. Good, better, the best. Bad, worse, the worst, okay? There are some rules. Now, we have to know why, for example, we double the letter G in big, or why do we change the letter Y in the word happy, happier? Okay, wait, why do we do this? There are some rules to follow. Well, in most adjectives, we add ER, small, smaller. And to make the superlative, we add EST, small, the smallest. Okay, this is what I explained before. But what happens when we have an adjective that ends in one vowel plus one consonant, for example, big? Big At the last, what is the final letter in big? G, okay? G is a consonant or a vowel? A consonant. And what letter comes before the letter G? I. Is it a vowel or a consonant? Vowel, yes, it's a vowel and this is a consonant. When we have at the end of the word this pattern, consonant, vowel, it's when we have to double the consonant and add ER. Okay, when we find this pattern in one word, for example, happy, no. Let me think of another. Big, bigger, pretty, prettier, no. Okay, we will see more examples soon. But when we find this pattern in a word, kids, we have to double the letter G and add ER. Cuando al final tenemos una consonant y antes de la consonant tenemos una vowel, that's when we have to double the letter, yes? And then to make the superlative, we have to double the consonant and add the and EST at the end of the word, like big, the biggest, yes? And then when the adjectives end in E, like nice, we have to add R, the letter R, okay? Because we already have the letter E, so we only put the letter R, the missing letter, nice, nicer. And we add the plus ST at the end, nice, the nicest. This is when the adjectives end in E, in the letter E. Now, when the adjectives end in Y, we have to drop the Y, we have to eliminate the Y and add IER, pretty, prettier. And to make the superlative, we drop the I, we eliminate or we omit the Y and add the plus EIEST, pretty, the prettiest. Now, the long adjectives. For the long adjectives, you already know what to do. Boring. Boring has 2 syllables. There are some exceptions, guys, in these rules, because I told you that most of the words that contain 3 syllables go with more, but boring is considered a long word. So we have to write more before it. More boring. And to make the superlative, we write the most boring, okay? You know that we have rules, but sometimes, guys, there are exceptions, okay? We cannot be like very strict with that. I don't know how to define it because sometimes the rules are broken. There are exceptions, but this happens in all languages, okay? And we have to be open to that. Now, after, this is something that I already told you. After comparative adjectives, we often use than. Football is more exciting than tennis. And before the superlative adjectives, we use the. Jack is the funniest boy in the class, the. Okay, in the comparatives, we write then, and in the superlatives, we write the.